Andrew Schulz.
Hello, everybody.
Is here. Schultzy.
Finally.
First of all, before we get into anything else, because we're going to get into it.
Yes.
The special's excellent.
Thank you very much.
Watched it start to finish.
I appreciate that.
Love the story you weave throughout.
Thank you.
I loved your big nurse that you spoke to. He's one of my. I want to meet him now. Meatball. I want to meet Meatball now. I also love this idea that like you're going because you said something true. Like when my first kid, my wife and I had like our first pregnancy. We were 10 weeks in.
Yeah.
Didn't pan out. Had a lot of trouble getting pregnant the first time.
Sorry.
Second one, it's a really hard thing. And you don't know it's a hard thing until you talk about the fact that it was hard for yourself. And that's when
everybody comes out of the
yeah.
It's like, do you remember the first time you shared that story with anybody?
You know, I'll tell you, it was when we talked to my mother about it, she was like, this is what happened to me. And I'm like, in my 30s going like, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's like a quarter of women experience a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't even know. They just think their period came early or something like that.
Right.
So it's it's crazy. Once you start learning about all this stuff, it's just insane. And the way that there's so much, I've probably talked about in this special, but there's so much like fear put into like getting pregnant that we assume it's so easy.
Totally.
And then when we try and it's not easy, we're like, wait, what the fuck what's going on here? Yeah, go out. I didn't know that you went through that.
Yeah, for sure. But and the same thing that you were talking about on the special, like it's taking months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what
and
were
it consumes you.
Right.
And it's the worst sex.
And it's not sexy.
It's not at all sexy.
No.
It's just
right now. Has to be. She's just waiting for you to finish. Like it's like this is okay.
And then when it doesn't work, you're like, yeah, because like this, we didn't make love.
Right.
Right. We have to make love. That's how you make a baby.
You're not turned on. You're under the clock. Like. But you got there, and congratulations,
Thank you,
and
man.
you made it.
Thank you.
Was there ever? So when you're out there, right, and you know the special's out now, but you also know the special's coming, right?
Yeah.
And you have created an art form out of getting people to feel ways about you.
Interesting. Okay.
When you know that there's all this negative feedback coming towards you.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I'm also about to put out the most vulnerable special because you're before this, you're the king of just like jokes. Everybody gets these jokes. And you're like, let me tell you about the most vulnerable I've ever been. You know this is around the corner from fans of Kendrick fans or this fan or that fan or any fan coming for you. Are you going like, maybe we delay this?
Listen, now that I'm like getting into wrestling, I understand the heat.
Yeah,
right. Whether it's cold or hot, it's heat or whatever it is, like negative or positive, it's heat. I was like, we need to get this out now. I was not going, we got to sit on this. I was like, the people need to know who I really am. But yeah, that's funny that there was this part of me that's like, okay, this is the most distilled version of me. Mm-hmm. And I think what happens when you're doing long-form conversation, you're throwing around lumps of clay, and they're not bits yet. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not these like fully formed ideas, but they're kind of funny. And you're with people who know you and trust you. Like when I'm doing the pod with all my boys, like I'll even listen back to some of the shit, and I'll be like, did I call Gwyneth Paltrow's feet fuck pads? Like I'm like, and like somebody will cut a clip and be like, we should post this, and I'm like, no, we shouldn't.
Bro,
post it.
I literally have had the same conversations in this room where it's like, no. Why is this in the clip? Like in the context of the room, the full show. Maybe.
But putting that out with no context, I look like a psychopath, right? It's just like, I have a daughter. You know? So I think that happens when you're so comfortable with people, you know that they know your heart is good. Right. So you'll say this absurd shit. But once you put stuff out on the internet, they don't know your heart is good.
No.
So they're getting things, they're just a headline or a 30-second clip, and they're making these ideas about you, which is fair for them, by the way.
Sure.
Like, you can't force everybody to understand your entirety.
Right.
So if you're putting stuff out, you got to know it's going to be clipped and all these other things, and you got to deal with that. And it was cool to have a piece that maybe gave a better perspective of me as like a full person. Right. That I could stand behind. Like if you watched it, there's fucked up jokes that are going to piss people off in it. But there's some heart in it, and you'll be like, okay, hopefully you're like, oh, he's a good guy, and he just has these fucked up thoughts like we all do.
So there is this thing that you're like, yeah, this is my most vulnerable, but also people will get to see that I'm a human being.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times definitely in like little clip form, you're not showing that human part as much.
No.
It's just, here's this idea. If you like the idea, if it's your sense of humor, you agree with the point that's being made, then you're like, this is awesome. But it's even like clip content, a lot of it isn't even about the creator. It's about the consumer.
Totally.
It's like, how does this make me feel?
Yeah.
If I agree with it, I want to share it. If I think it's funny, I want to send it to my friends. Very few times, even with the special, actually, maybe it's just all content, but like very few times are people like, hey, this thing is cool. It's got nothing to do with me. I want you to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too that like it used to be the old thinking was clips it's just promotion to lead to the bigger thing. But it's like, no, clips are just clips.
Yeah.
Like it's its own thing.
It's
and I
its own
also
economy.
think like you have mainstreamed so quickly and gotten so kind of famous and big so quick that like you're in this space where you'll say stuff on the pod, right? And I know, I've known you as long as I've known you. It's like, these are jokes. Like, you're just making up jokes.
Bro.
But people respond to jokes going, I can't believe he feels this way.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he never said he felt that way.
Well,
He's just...
That's the thing. And it's like, you're making a lot of sense, but you know me, and also you've been in entertainment for 2 decades, right? 2 decades, probably? Yeah. So but I've been trying to have a lot of empathy for people who don't understand that.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of people who look at comedy, they're like, this is just an excuse for people to get out their racist ideas. Like, they think it's a smokescreen.
Sure.
So then they see, like, an unfinished premise thrown out on a pod, and they don't look at, like, the people on the pod. If it was, like, 4 white guys sitting on a couch, I get it.
Sure.
But if they're looking at that and then they have an opinion about it, you can't really be upset at that.
Right.
Like, people take whatever, their feelings are, whatever their experience is, into the world. And then shit bounces off of that. And I think earlier in my career, I'd be like, oh, you pussy, you don't know what a joke is. And then, things got a little bit bigger, and I was like, okay, I got to understand what this says. Like, I never wanted to be famous. Like, I wanted to be really good at something.
Mm-hmm.
So I, like, worked hard at being good. And I knew that the byproduct of that would be, like, some fame. But, like, fame is a thing you got to know how to deal with. I'm not calling myself famous, by the way, but like,
I mean, I would say at this point you're fairly famous.
Maybe some, but like that's a thing you got to be offensive about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get PR agencies, I get all this. Like narratives can be said about you on the internet, and then people will jump on them because they can make content about it, which they can get views and they can pay their rent off of. Like you become an economy.
Yeah, you're the industry.
So, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to address it. These are lies. It's not, who would believe this? It's like, no, people believe it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And there's really good YouTube videos that are going like, here's the argument. I'm laying it all out. Here's this out of context. Here's that out of context. And now it's totally out of your control.
And then it becomes like this thing that people just believe.
Right.
And then you watch it become a thing people believe, and you're like, oh, wow. Like, and in my mind, I'm looking and I'm looking at all the people that I look up to, and I'm like, all right, is Rogan acknowledge anything? No. Is fucking Taylor Swift acknowledge anything? No. Is like The Rock going on fucking, is it? No. But maybe they have PR companies or something that do acknowledge it. I'm not aware. Also, these people are at different levels.
Yes.
But it just made me look at it. And I was like looking at Charlemagne and seeing how he addresses certain things. Like he might not address it head on, but he'll like sub it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's addressing like the idea or the trend without giving clout to that person.
Sure.
Because the last thing you don't want to do is like inflate the person that's trying to
give them any oxygen whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a different.
That's wild, and you just kind of have to figure that out when you get there.
Yeah, I never planned on it.
Right.
I was
you were just trying to get good at what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll just get good at this thing, and then people look at this thing, and then they'll be like, "Oh, he's good at it," and that will be it.
Right.
And there's always going to be a reaction to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's a wild thing. I will tell you.
It's sad.
It's sad because because
like there are people who I think about this all the time. Like one of the best things about having the internet is we can create whatever we want.
Right.
And I think that sometimes the algorithm is dictating what you create.
100%. 100%.
They don't even know it.
Right.
There'll be people who've been making videos about me for like 2 years, and it's just like, well, if you don't like me, but why you still watch it? Like,
it's because this is.
Well, it's because it makes money. So now you're like enslaved to the algorithm. You have to watch the thing that you don't like.
And by the way, even if I do catch myself kind of liking it, that's not the business. I can't.
It's not the business. You can't.
It'd be like if Trump was like, actually, this woke thing is kind of good. All his supporters like, what?
What are you doing?
What? That's not what we signed up for.
So it's it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you were going to take a specific point of view, it's not authentic to how you feel, and just create about it nonstop. Get the corporate job.
Right.
Just work for the company that tells you what the whole point of all this is. We get to do what we want.
Right.
And sometimes when you do what you want, the episode does really good. Sometimes it sucks.
Right.
In terms of views, but it's really awesome for...
You feel fulfilled.
Yes. Like when we did the Cody episode, like it was awesome.
Right.
And I felt like it really... I got good feedback within the wrestling community. Some of our fans weren't wrestling fans, but some weren't and watched it and they were like, hey, this is like really interesting and fascinating. Did it hit as many views as Rogan? No. Mm-hmm. But was it like a really cool thing I was proud of? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at every episode to go there, but that's what you have to sacrifice if you're willing to just create, hopefully authentically.
Yeah, and do and try new things and do new stuff. It's been fun watching you, go around promoting the special because you've been on every podcast. You've been on comedy podcast, sports, every podcast.
That's something else I learned is like, I thought you were supposed to just bring people on your pod.
Yeah.
And then, I'm just curious about different people, but I thought, oh yeah, the perception will be if I have all these different people on the pod, then, this is an open place for people with different ideas and we appreciate these ideas. Mm-hmm. And it's like, not at all. The only way you can control that narrative, you got to go to their home.
Yeah.
And especially if they talk shit about you or did anything, you have to go there and you got to sit down and let them talk that shit to your face and then have that discourse.
There's something so funny to me about you going on the pivot in costume.
Oh, yeah.
And then having the serious conversation from the top, but you're in costume the whole time.
I didn't know it was going to be that serious up front, bro. I'll be honest with you, bro.
That's what I figured.
I put on
you're
the
like,
suit.
let me chill out.
We're going to have some fun. And
I'm going to put this ridiculous pin on. And they're like, here's what we need to talk about. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. How do you feel about black women?
Yeah. I probably would have worn bigger pants, but regardless, we're here now. We're having the conversation.
No, shout out to those guys for having me on, and I admire that.
Yeah.
Ryan was very critical, and but he let me come on the pod and have a conversation with him about it.
Yeah.
And the feedback to me has been really great, especially from my side of things. It seems like people understood where I was coming from and they got some good perspective. A lot of people would just maybe duck that conversation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, going well, maybe if I don't say anything about this, they'll just stop talking about it and everybody will realize that they were wrong. But that's not how it works.
Especially if there's views in it.
Right.
I don't know if they would stop, but other people wouldn't. They'll just milk it until it's done.
And the idea of sitting down and having a long-form conversation about, even if we're not going to solve a problem, let's at least get true perspectives and intentions out there.
I'll talk to anybody.
Right.
I just don't have time.
Yeah.
So I was
a lot of people.
I got to turn this into press run as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. When I have the special out, I'm doing it. I'll have every conversation. Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm hanging out with my kid.
Right. Yeah, because don't forget, stand up, Flagrant, and family. That's
I haven't been on stage since I put out the special.
Really?
Yeah. I always do this though.
Take a break?
Yeah, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I can't, because if I don't, I just end up. I don't know. I think you just end up doing a different version of the same bit.
Because you're on that same kind of loop.
Yeah, it's like that's the only thing your brain is thinking about. So you're going, all right, well, what? All right, here's a different version of this thing, and I wouldn't have been able to create this one if I didn't take time off
from the last one.
Yeah.
So, and the idea is that you come back and next time you're doing something different again, because this is far more personal, far more storytelling, far more,
Maybe it's one-liners. I like to do something different.
Whatever hits you.
When we did the crowd work thing years ago, before crowd work had become just so inundated.
Yeah.
It was just all right, I never done that.
Right.
Let me see if this is cool. Then we did it, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was just, how can, I'll just, what scares me? What do I think I'm not good at?
Sure.
What am I insecure about? Okay, how can I, I didn't think I was a good storyteller, and I didn't think my life was interesting at all. I never talked about my life at all.
Uh-huh.
I was like, my life is boring.
Right.
My opinions are cooler than my life. And then this happened. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I was like, let me see if I can learn how to tell a story.
Yeah.
It was really just...
And it's interesting, too, because like you said, it's one of those stories that people come up to you and go yeah, something similar happened to me. So the fact that you could take a story that isn't that different from what's happened to all these people and turn it into a special, that's it, right?
Bro, it was crazy. Even... I Netflix is supposed to be coy with how people react, because the more information they tell me, the more money they spend the next time I want to do a special.
Yeah.
But they basically were like, they've never seen retention on a special like this.
Wow.
Meaning completion.
Right. I mean, that everybody's trying to like, what if I just do a 25-minute special? Then will they watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that has a lot to do with story. It's like, if you can tell a cool, compelling story, people get locked in. You're like, I just need to see where this goes.
So when you're preparing that, like when you're preparing the special and you're trying stuff out, do you just like think of it in chunks? And then how do I tie the chunks together so that you know this is one thing that I'm weaving in?
Essentially. Like, what are the different things that I'm experiencing? Each one of them were like few-minute jokes.
Right.
And then kind of ordering it. And then I've read all these books about storytelling. Because there is like a math to storytelling.
Sure.
It's like our oldest form of digesting information, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you know it obviously just from wrestling. Like, you see it like every single week.
I mean, I think of everything in terms of 3-act structure and storytelling. Like, how does and then if you react this way over here, you'll react that way over there. Yep. And it's not even like, and that's the thing about wrestling too. It's not even like you'll fall for it. You'll willingly go on the journey.
We want to. That's the other thing. We want to.
Yeah.
We want to believe these things. Like anybody who gets catfished now, they want to be.
They're refusing. The fantasy hits.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's everything here tells me this is just a fantasy. This is not real. But I would rather give up all this money, go through this humiliation, than leave this fantasy.
I mean, this is a crazy thing. This is the most wrestling part about the special, I would say, is I tell you I have a kid immediately. Why are you still watching?
Right.
You're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I told you the second I got on stage, I have a kid.
And I'm sitting there going like, there's not going to be a fucking heartbeat. There's not going to be a fucking heartbeat. Oh, no. I don't want to see this.
Tell me that's not every wreshling match.
Of course.
It's like,
of course
he's
that's
not
what
going
it
to get
is.
up. He's not going to get... If we cheer loud enough, maybe he'll get up.
And then somebody leans into you. You know he's going to get it. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, don't ruin
it. Yeah.
So that's... Yeah.
So when did you start seeing wrestling in that? I mean, I feel like you...
That Vince doc. And then I hit you up, and I was just talking to you nonstop.
Yeah.
And also, shout out Tommy Invincible. You and I talk about Tommy Invincible. You and I talk about Tommy Invincible almost on a weekly basis, and I'd watch every single video he puts out. I scroll through every single carousel. I got to throw it up. I got to throw up the fucking...
Wow. You just made his life.
Yo, shout out to Tommy. Let me get the mic out.
Shout out to Tommy Invincible.
Listen, he is the Bronx United States champion.
Bronx, yeah.
He's the Bronx United States champion.
BUS.
And he's a tag team champ as well.
That's huge for him.
This guy's getting belts, man.
Yeah.
Non-stop. I love this guy.
I saw him at the Hammerstein Ballroom earlier this year.
He's shutting it down.
Shutting it down.
Shut that fucking thing down.
Down.
Dude, Cardona was shaking in his boots,
He didn't know what to do.
He didn't know what to do.
I'm telling you, this is a guy, right, who's this independent pro wrestler who's just trying to make it, right?
Just trying to make it for decades. He's been trying to make it.
He's got the word invincible tattooed across his back, shoulder to shoulder. And he walks out there, man, and these videos are so great because he's getting prepped as if he was going into MetLife Stadium.
He's pouring a Poland Spring on his head before he walks out.
He's getting hyped up, and then he opens that curtain, and there's maybe 15 people?
7 people in an elementary school classroom.
That's right.
In the middle of the Bronx.
And he circles the entire ring. And he hasn't lost
every 5.
Every 5 hasn't lost any of that enthusiasm. Like, yeah, we're going to do this.
Dude, I love when he engages with people in the comments. He goes, somebody was like, he said, bro's getting so excited. There's 7 people in the crowd. He goes, I'd get just as excited if there was 1. Dude, and listen, at first you're like, okay, this is absurd. He's getting this excited about it. And then you go, oh, he really is grateful that he gets to do it.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it through that lens, I was like, this guy's my fucking hero.
He's being genuine.
Yeah. How often, like, you go to a show and there's only a few people at the comedy show and, like, you're like, oh, damn, there's only 7 people. It's going to be whatever. Instead of going, oh, my God, I get to go up and do stand-up comedy.
Right.
Like, he has the exact attitude about pursuing your dream that we should all fucking have.
Yeah, because that's the way it's supposed to be. You started in this thing, and it's like, man, if I could just get on a stage,
and then you
that
do
would
it,
be it.
And then that dream goes away.
Right.
Like, you take that for granted.
Right.
You're like, I'm already on stages.
I should be on stages.
Yeah.
I should be in an arena. It's like, whoa, like, what about this guy over here that just let me touch a mic? And that's who
Tommy
Invincible is.
And let me tell you something. When he does that, when he is giving whoever's going up against him that sweet sin,
you know.
I feel invincible, bro.
You do?
I feel fucking invincible, dude. Look at this guy.
He's giving hugs.
Soaking wet, hugging everybody.
And they don't even have to stand for him. They're staying seated.
That's right.
And he's
dude.
like, that's fine. Let me carry the energy. I'm
going to hug you.
I'm going to carry this energy for both of us.
Exactly.
Because I'm invincible. And that's part of being invincible, right?
100%.
Nothing's going to kill my spirit.
No.
Nothing. Even if you decide to stay seated, that's fine.
Look at that ceiling. Fucking perfect mirrored ceiling.
Perfect mirrored ceiling. I wouldn't jump off the top rope. It's a little low.
It's a little.
But that's fine. That's fine. He's not an aerial, guy.
Yet.
Put him in a building with a high ceiling.
And then he's out
See
of
what
here.
this guy can do.
This guy can bounce.
See what this guy can do.
Just saying, he's a legend.
Look at the Poland Springs.
He's a legend.
Over his head.
He's an absolute legend.
Whew. And I mean, you know what I love about this stuff?
Yeah.
I just love in any industry. There's something to me that I love more so than somebody who kind of makes it.
Yeah.
I love somebody that is staying on the pursuit no matter what.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Like, because the pursuit is everything.
Yeah.
The pursuit is why we do all of this.
Yeah.
So to see somebody that's like, no, maybe they didn't make it as quick as they thought they were going to, but the pursuit, hasn't changed. It's been years.
Because he reminds us of all of us.
Right. The pursuit hasn't changed one iota. Are we strong enough, Andrew Schulz, to say that if we hadn't made it yet in some way, shape, or form, we'd still be going after it? He is. That makes him better than us.
Makes him better than
If
us.
we say no by now, I would have had to figure something out. And he's like, what are you talking about? I figured it out.
Yeah, I'm the U.S. Bronx champion.
And a tag team champion. Yeah. Look at all these people.
To me, he seems pretty fucking invincible, if you ask me.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
2 different belts, 2 different organizations.
Yeah, he's going.
What the fuck is AEW doing?
I don't know.
Get off your ass.
Get him.
WWE.
Get him.
H, what's going on?
What are you doing, H?
What's going on? You got a superstar. You have a superstar in the Bronx, New York.
I do love, too, that you're getting more and more involved, and you are going to be able.
This is all your fault, by the way.
You are
going to
be.
Anything that I do, and we were saying this before, anything that I ever do in wrestling, this is all by the design of Sam Roberts.
Okay.
You are the puppet master behind all of this, okay? I watch one Vince doc. I call you immediately. My wife passed out, and I'm in my bathroom whispering, and I'm so excited I can't even whisper anymore. I just talk in full volume, just like what the hell is going? This guy's a genius.
And I go, here's the deal.
I love this guy. It's like I end up loving him at the end.
I mean, here, I never told anybody, but since you brought it up, Schulz goes, okay, Sam, we're having Cody on the pod. I go, that's great.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay. So this is even this. Oh wait, did you tell me I have to watch Vince doc? No,
you hit me up and you were like, yo, I just watched this Vince doc.
I'm watching the Vince doc and I'm getting into different stuff. I mean, like I'm getting into like.
You said, here's what you said.
Yeah.
I watched the Vince doc. I can't believe I wasn't up on this pro wrestling stuff.
Because I went as a kid. I saw Undertaker, I saw Ultimate Warrior at the Prudential Center, and I believe it was Prudential Center in Jersey.
Yeah, the Meadowlands.
Meadowlands, where the Nets used to play. And I remember seeing it as a kid. I had the fucking toy. I had everything as a kid. Okay, I'm locked in. And then I remember during like The Rock and stuff like that, it got very popular. The book came out and everything. It got into it a little bit, and then it kind of went away.
Yeah.
I watched this doc, and keep in mind, I'm doing this like learning how to tell story and learning like how.
Oh, so it hit you right at the right time.
Well, and I'm like,
oh wow.
And I'm learning it as this perfect like reflection of American society and culture. And I also love this idea that heat is just heat, negative or positive.
Just
and
get
it
a
can
reaction.
be used in any way that you want.
And you kind of shift to the reaction. Like if you go, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get this reaction.
Brilliant.
You get a different reaction. Okay.
And
the good ones, they know in the moment
what to do.
We got to shift this. Like, I mean, there are matches where it's like, I need to start working differently because they're booing me. I need to start working like a heel. And I need to make sure this guy understands, like, you need to start working like a face because they're cheering you and they're booing me. So we need to switch it up right now.
Next level shit.
It's crazy.
Next level shit. Anyway,
it's crazy.
So I'm watching it. I start getting into like these characters that like R-Truth. I was watching all the R-Truth clips, and I was just watching, and I'm sending you messages from this, and I'm just like, I love this guy. He's like getting the other guys to break character.
Yes.
He's so funny that the other guys are laughing in the ring.
Yes.
And he kind of just reminds me of what I would want to do in that situation, which is like, okay, I could be like a little naughty boy right now and just destroy it all. But it works so well that now it builds up his character.
Right.
So there's no loss of energy. That's what I like. If you're doing a play on Broadway, if you go do your own thing, even if the audience likes it, the writer's going to come up to you after that and go, that's not how we wrote this. Mm-hmm. Don't change the lines. Don't act differently. This is my baby, and you are here to just breathe life into it.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, you do something crazy, and it works.
Right.
H is coming down. He's going, we really like what you did. If it fails, they're going to go, we don't need you to ever do that again.
Right.
But you eat what you hunt.
That's right.
It's kind of beautiful meritocracy.
You can prepare all you want, but once you get out there, like here's the story before we get in front of an audience.
Yes.
Now we do it.
Yeah. Whatever happens, we are going to react to in the moment.
Yeah.
And
the
I
audience
like
is reacting live in the building. It's live on television. Like there's no takebacks.
And it's on. It reminds me of stand-up in a lot of ways. Where it's like I can tell you this joke and want you to react a certain way. If you don't, I have to acknowledge that energy.
Right. And get out of it. Move over here. Still get to where you want to go.
100%.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, okay, we asked, or I don't know if they reached out, but I think maybe WWE reached out about Cody. And I was like, I'm just off this Vince doc. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome, but I want to do justice to this interview. So I hit you up and I go, can you like help me with this? Like, can you give me some background information, some stuff that I might not know, et cetera? And you gave me like listen, if any of you watched that interview with Cody and you're like, how the fuck does Schulz know this? Schulz didn't know any of it. Actually, Sam Roberts put all that information in my head, and we talked for hours, and you gave me like play by play. I'm talking about text messages that were released, tweets that came out. Even in the interview, I'm watching Cody look over like, oh, you're like aware of, because I think they're used to doing certain platforms that are unaware of what's happening in the world of wrestling.
They don't even get what the world of wrestling is.
Yeah, they like know that they're the champ, but they don't really know any of the storylines or anything else.
Right.
So like kind of like maybe a quarter of the way in, he goes, oh shit, I'm kind of in like a home game here. Like these guys know me. And then he started dropping like some real deep cut information about what's going on behind the scenes, building up this stuff. And it was fantastic, but all credit to you. I mean, that was
no.
I knew nothing before. I was familiar with Cody, but you gave me just an unbelievable breakdown.
No, I was very proud of you when I watched it because you knew how to put every piece together. It was fantastic. But the funniest part to me was we were texting, and you were like, "What's Cody's deal?" And I was like, well, what do you mean, what's his deal? And you're like, what's his deal? And I go, well, what do you know about him? And you're like, nothing. And I go, what do you want to know about him? And you're like, everything. Yeah. And I'm like, well, this is going to need to be a phone call. If you're serious, if you're sincere, this is going to need to be a phone call. And you're right. And then we got on the phone, and it was hours of, where do you want to start? Because you
I said, go.
Start from the beginning.
I want to know from the beginning.
And I go, okay.
Because I was familiar with this story arc. Like him becoming champion and what this meant.
Right. Finish the story.
So I was peripherally familiar with it, and I was like, wow, what amazing storytelling. Like, was that on purpose? Like, him leaving, was it by design? Like, I was aware of it peripherally.
And it was so funny because before this, I just remember the only time you guys had talked wrestling was like, I think right after WrestleMania 40, Akash was kind of like explaining it to you.
And
but he got it wrong. Yeah. But it was like from a casual point of view. Yes. I got it. It was like Akash just kind of turned on. He was like, this is great. Yeah, and I loved that he was being positive.
He was super enthusiastic about it.
But all the wrestling fans were like, that's not right. I was like, and I was on their side too, because I was like, you're right. It isn't right. But
it's like, I feel like wrestling fans are they know so much. We were talking about this before the pod. Like, they're aware of, it's very meta, right? Where it's like they're aware of the storytelling, they're aware of the heel, the face, and they're aware of all the characters. They know everything. They know when they're being manipulated. Yeah. So you almost have to like manipulate the manipulation.
Yes.
That's the only way to kind of catch
them. And that's
them.
what you want as a fan.
Like, yeah. You're asking, trick me twice. Yeah. I know you're going to try to trick me.
Right. You're like, here's the suspension. There's a suspension of disbelief. Yeah. And by the way, like, you kind of have to stay in it. Like, it can't be suspension of disbelief for the 2-hour television show. Yeah. It's like, no. Like, permanent suspension of disbelief. Yeah. But I have the internet. And I know the inside stories. And I know what's really going on. I know who's in charge. I know who he likes and doesn't like in real life. I know who he's pushing. I know who he's burying. I know all this stuff. So now you have to take all that into context and make it a story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
And it becomes this whole other like story on a story on a story.
Yeah, it was insane.
But
even,
then,
go.
You.
Yeah.
I mean... And I don't know if I'm a bad influence, but all of a sudden you get exposed, and I felt like I was the primer,
dude.
And then you get exposed by sitting in the front row.
You know we weren't supposed to sit there.
Really?
I think Logan set that up.
Put you in the front row.
We were supposed to sit behind like McAfee, like in that
where the
area.
other celebrity, Macaulay Culkin was there, like the other or whoever.
So there's
was,
like a section, and that's where we were all gonna go, and then last second. We get switched, and I'm so excited because we get to be like front row.
Right.
Now, I'm thinking back, and I'm like, this motherfucker planned that shit.
So he
puts me up so that he can, like, he can play off of the fact that these are my people in New York City.
Right.
Like, he's not stupid. He knows that people are gonna fucking hate him.
Right.
So now he's trying to throw that on me. And there was this weird like confusion where he goes, oh yeah, my buddy Schulz is here, and then the audience is like, wait a minute, we like Schulz.
Because it's New York.
But we don't like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
And I'm like, am I supposed to take this on the chin for you when you don't even, if you hit me up before and you're like, hey, can you help me with this thing? But my wife is there. I'm sitting there. You're gonna let me get fucking booed in the middle of.
You've been in that building. You performed in that building.
Twice, but we don't have to count. You know what I mean? It's just not a big deal. But it was 2 times. I don't want to count it out. I'm
sold out or not sold out or sold out?
I mean, it was sold out both times.
Okay.
Like,
both times.
No big deal.
Okay.
You know? A lot of people asked us to do a third show, but the Knicks ended up, doing well in the playoffs. But no, it's not a big deal.
Right. So you could have done a third.
Here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm really not competing.
No.
But but yeah, and like what a scumbag fucking move.
Because that is true, right? Because Logan Paul represents like the celebrity coming into wrestling without the respect for the industry, without the everything. So you think he's like, no, I'm going to go to Schulz to be
I'm going to use him as a buffer. And I'm going to use him to be qualified. And then now I got to either, if I side with him, it's funny because he had his HBO show, the thing came out, and there was this thing where he doesn't like have, he's like, sometimes it's hard for me to have empathy for people. And I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking get it now. When I'm sitting there with my wife and my best friends trying to enjoy Raw at MSG, I'm really excited.
And you developed a relationship with Logan Paul from the pod. And
I've known this guy for years.
Right.
Like literally, I've known him for years, and I'm like, this guy's incredibly talented. Like I didn't even see him do the wrestling shit. I know he gets, trash for like being like this YouTube star that's coming in, but objectively, he's fucking good at the thing. Like some of these moves are incredible.
Incredible.
And the guy is pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't want him to be strong.
You felt that. You felt that. He
I didn't want to get dragged to the fucking ring. With my wife right there.
Yeah.
That's what I had to tell my wife. I was like, it's fake. Wrestling's totally fake, babe. I was in on
left
that whole
over.
thing. What do you think? You thought that's real? No, not at all. This is totally anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the idea to like set me up is like such a fucking, it's just like dirtbag fucking. But it's maybe to that thing he was saying in the show, just maybe a lack of empathy. Like you're not even considering how it could make me feel or how it could,
just what benefits me right now. I'll use this human being. I'll use whatever.
Which is, I imagine, what's happening even in wrestling, right? Where it's just like, oh, I'm going to use this thing. This is going to be my maybe it's boxing, maybe it's vlogs, maybe it's prime. No, now it's wrestling. I'll do wrestling, and that will be the next thing that feeds me.
Right.
I get the frustration. There's a lot of wrestlers that put fucking 3 decades into this business. They're like, this is all I do. I'm not going to hop on to another thing. I'm not going to monkey bar to the next thing. This is all I'm going to do, and then I'm going to retire, and I hopefully get to talk about it.
Right. So there's a priority of making the business better, not just benefiting from it. Leeching. Some would say leeching.
That's.
Some would say leeching.
Listen, are you full time or not?
Right.
Because these guys are traveling.
You say.
But do you
talk?
Do you say, but do you do?
Do you do?
Yeah.
What did it feel like being active? Okay, so you go from within a matter of months, a phone conversation, getting to the bottom of Cody Rhodes, watching the Vince not getting to the bottom of what wrestling even is.
Almost getting suplexed in fucking Madison Square Garden, my home.
You're in the ring. When your feet are on the canvas.
I'm looking for you, and I'm just like, fuck you. I'm like, you piece of shit. Why did you get me involved in this? And you're just sitting there like, everything that I wanted.
I thought it was great. I thought the whole thing was great. I was like, any way this one goes, if he gets his face smashed into the mat, if AJ however this goes, I love it.
Oh, it was great when AJ came in, and also I'm in there like I don't really know what the fuck to do, like because I'm like, do we jump this guy? Like what's going on?
Right.
So when AJ,
all right, so that's weird, right? Because now you're in this confrontation, but also as a performer, you're surrounded by an arena full of people.
So, yeah, I'm like, I'm like, what do I do right now? Like, I'm also living out like a childhood dream. I am at Raw, I'm in the fucking ring.
But you got this influencer trying to beat you up.
And I'm, in front of my wife.
Right.
So there's this part of me that's like, I got to, stand up for myself. And then AJ comes in, and then he starts doing his thing, and there's this funny moment where I just look so stupid, but like I'm so excited that AJ starts fucking up Logan that I'm like holding onto the ropes, and I just start going, yeah, and I'm just I don't know what to do. Like I'm looking for a chair. I'm like, McAfee, give me your fucking chair. Let me break this guy's head open. Like I got no clue what you're supposed to do in those moments, but AJ handled it. And then AJ goes, and I'm just in the middle of the thing with AJ, and everybody's going crazy. AJ goes, go do, oh fuck, what's the term when you jump on the turnbuckles or whatever?
Get up on the second rope.
Yeah, but he said is there a term for it?
I don't know what his term would be.
He said something. I was like, what? He goes, hey, jump on the ropes. I was like, all right. I fucking jumped the rope. I think I might be the only wrestling adjacent person in history that has gotten flipped into the ring, rolled into the ring, almost suplexed, and jumped on the top rope and celebrated. Like I did something.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think AJ celebrated. I think I jumped on the second rope and I said, I did it!
Look what I just did! I was associated with this. Yeah. But it is an accomplishment, even though, New York loves you. The idea that a wrestling audience cheered a celebrity. Whenever a wrestling audience cheers a celebrity, that's extra difficult. There's something in tune with us.
Tell me, like, what is the relationship usually like when you have these cameos?
Well, it depends on if they're in. Like, if people don't know...
I hate even allowing you to call me a celebrity, by the way.
Well, it's going to happen.
I have, like, a little feeling about it.
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Jeremy Piven was on an episode of Raw once.
Got it.
The WWE does a huge event every year called SummerSlam.
Yep.
And this was leading up to SummerSlam, and he's in there with John Cena in this big segment. And he says, well, I think whoever wins this match will main event at the Summerfest. And the minute, he's getting booed out of the building. And for the rest of his life, wrestling fans have no time for this guy. Because it's like, you showed up, you got in the ring with John, and you don't even know what SummerSlam is?
Yeah.
It's Summerfest?
Yeah, no, I see that because then it just looks like a promotional opportunity.
Right.
And I get that. And there's probably like a part of that when I was first there. Like there's this, he's got the special coming out, and now it's
and that's why you got booed, especially with Logan Paul, because it's like, another one of Logan's like celebrity friends trying to glom on, especially because wrestling's hot now.
I get it. But also it's like, I live in New York. I didn't book Raw the week after my special comes out.
You did not.
No, I didn't call up, hey, H, by the way, my special's coming out. You know what I mean? I'm like, my special's coming out, so can you book Raw the week after in New York City, in my city? Would you do that? That'd be really nice. Yeah. So, but of course, I'm like, okay, this is going to be, this is going to be cool. So
you're doing interviews and stuff after, and you've done it not like wrestling promos, but you've been on like Theo's podcast and other podcasts acting like you're not done, like you want to be more involved in wrestling.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and you want to hurt Logan.
I don't even want to be more involved in wrestling. I like watching wrestling. I just like it. I think it's cool. I like talking to the guys. I don't have like aspirations to wrestle or anything like that. Right. But there is Logan and I have to have a conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah, there has to be a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's disrespectful.
There has to be a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without AJ, there has to be a conversation.
Just you two.
I mean, if it gets rough, I hope AJ pulls up immediately.
Okay, so maybe like without AJ, but he's right outside the room type of thing.
Have the music ready. You know what I mean? Like, have the music ready. No, but we need to talk about that. I thought that was like an absurd...
No, I think you're right.
I just thought it was an absurd notion. But I also do understand like wrestling fans feeling that way about celebs, especially if there is a celeb that has been like a wrestling fan their entire... Like I imagine like the energy towards Bad Bunny is not negative, right?
We love Bad Bunny.
Because you can tell it's like a pure, real thing. He loves the sport.
Loves it. And puts the work in.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's more this feeling like, I'm going to relate it to comedy, but it's just like, if you're teasing somebody from a certain place, or you're going to another place and you're making jokes, and they're just like the hacky surface level shit, they roll their eyes. But if you show them that you've done a little like research and you know stuff about the place, it's actually like the complete inverse reaction. They're like, whoa, I really like this guy because he made the effort to make me feel seen here. He's not just extracting. He's trying to build. And
respecting your art, you and your art form, meaning like if it's like a person who's got notoriety from something outside of stand-up that goes in, it's one thing to just start booking theaters and going like, yep, I'm going to do an hour stand-up. It's another thing.
We'll be annoyed by it. Yeah.
Right. But if they started coming in and doing clubs and going to you for advice and coming in every single night and going like, no, I really, and you could tell, oh, they want to get good at this.
Yeah.
You'd embrace that.
Yeah, 100%. I also think, like, especially with that card, you know, like, with Seth and CM Punk at the end, like, you're talking about, like, real veterans, put the work in.
And we as wrestling fans have been waiting for that story. Don't steal that.
Exactly. So it's just, I thought that, and maybe even that's why they liked what I said in the ring, because it was like, hey, we're not here for this shit. This is distracting.
I think
from, you know, it's, because that's why I was showing up. I was like, I want to see these guys.
There's a cage match in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and also, like, how much longer are they going to wrestle? Right. I don't know how much longer, but like, how much longer are you gonna see those guys at the top of their game?
Right. At this level, are you gonna go to WrestleMania? You got to go to WrestleMania.
I don't know.
You should.
It would be so cool.
It'd be nuts, dude.
Easter weekend.
It is.
And I have a 14-month-old daughter.
Bro, I got 3 kids. I'm going to WrestleMania. Damn it. Come on, dude.
Yeah, but it's built. You're like 20 years in the game. I got 30 years in the game. It's like
not only do I have 3 kids, 2 of them are old enough to remember that I missed an Easter for WrestleMania.
That's funny.
It's happening. Sorry.
That's funny.
Sorry.
How many matches have been announced on the days that they're going to happen?
I don't know that anything has been officially announced as to which day. Like, you mean between Saturday and Sunday?
That's what I'm saying, because like there are people that I you know, are going to buy tickets for the weekend, of course, but not everybody can afford a ticket for the entire weekend.
Right.
So like, if you're buying a ticket right now before you know who's,
so you're going to assume that like the biggest match, I would think, is Cody and Cena.
Of course.
And
so that's going to be Sunday?
You would assume that headline Sunday.
Got it.
You would assume Seth, Punk, and Roman Reigns is going to headline Saturday.
Yeah.
That would be the assumption. And then beyond that, they usually try to like sculpt out 2 shows that are fairly equal in value.
When do you think Logan and AJ are going to get after it?
Well, that's a good question. You're saying maybe missing the Saturday before Easter.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. But do you think it'd be more convenient if it were on like the WrestleMania Saturday?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if Tommy Invincible happens to be walking around a casino in Vegas and he sees Logan Paul, he might have a heel turn.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe send Tommy Invincible.
I'm just,
yeah.
I'm just saying, I got hitters out there in the Bronx.
You do.
That do dirty work. Dirty work. Very dirty work.
Mainly Tommy Invincible.
I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's certainly a world where AJ and Logan go on a Saturday, you know?
Because that's not Easter, you know?
That's not Easter. No, it isn't.
Leaves plenty of time for Easter.
No, it does. It does.
It would leave a lot of time for Easter and to be with family.
It's Vegas. You can catch a red eye. You're home on Sunday before the baby even
You know
wakes
what's
up.
even crazier is that my wife's family is actually in Santa Barbara, which is like an hour flight.
That's really close.
So if there was a situation where, you know, something popped up, you know what I mean, it would be very probably easy to access, hypothetically speaking.
If you're just throwing things up in the air.
We're throwing things up in the air and just seeing what sticks.
Right.
An hour flight from, you know, Santa Barbara, California, lovely Santa Barbara, California, in and out.
Boom.
You know, maybe I wasn't even there, actually. Maybe just something happened. Matter of fact, I'm probably with my family.
Probably
with my family.
Probably.
You know, so if there was a masked guy that did anything there, it definitely probably wouldn't be me.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
It'd probably be somebody else, because I'm with my family in Santa Barbara.
Last year, Jason Kelsey showed up in a luchador mask, so you just never know.
If I saw a 6'7" Mexican
in Philly, by the way, it was in Philly.
Build the
wall. Oh. I love it, man. Yeah, it's been real interesting. This has been an interesting turn.
Yeah.
In the life and career of Andrew Schulz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like having a kid has centered you?
Yeah, it's like you've experienced this 3 times over. It's like the feelings you have when you have a child are so unbelievably cliche that you're embarrassed as a creative.
Right. Like you're like, don't even ask.
Like we think. I imagine that we have interesting takes and thoughts about the world, and that's why we feel comfortable talking into a microphone to people, right? And then you have your kid, and the only thoughts hitting you are just my kid has the best laugh. My kid has the best smile. And I'm sure that there's like a biological justification for this. We all have to have this like unbelievable feeling towards our children, and then tons of empathy for other people's kids, and we want to protect kids and all these things. But that's what I was shocked by. I thought I was going to have like this, the fresh unique, take. Specific thing, and it was going to hit me in this different way. And it's just like, no, I am like everyone else, dude.
Right. Like, I want you, the fresh take here, I want you guys to know.
Yeah.
I had the greatest daughter in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, it's like
nice insight.
Everybody asks, and I think they're looking at me like I'm going to have this. Well, the thing about kids is actually, it's like, however you feel.
Yeah.
Exactly how I feel.
Right. It's what you think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know about 2 and 3. I am curious. I have heard things about 2 and 3, meaning like there's a difference with your anxiety level after you have a second or third.
I mean, look, I have an amazing wife, so I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
Not that you don't, I'm sure you do as well. But like, I mean, for me, like our third was my push. I would do a 4th.
I love it.
I mean, I've told her like I'm ready to build an army. Just say when. Like we'll keep.
It's
because every time another one comes out, I go, we did another perfect kid.
Yeah, this is
like
awesome.
We did another.
We just hit it out the park.
We're so good at this. Yeah. Why would we want to? And what's the best thing you could do?
Yeah.
Put good people onto the earth.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you could do. Forget about legacy. Who cares?
Dude.
Like just put good people onto the planet, and like we'll be set. So if we're making good people. Make as many as possible. Let's go full Elon on this. Like just keep going.
It becomes addicting, right?
Yeah, and like, that's where also you want to go like, wait, this isn't a God complex, is it?
No. I don't think it's a God complex.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's possible to get addicted to breeding. I think on some level it's like the ultimate money flex.
Because you're like, yeah, this is no problem for me.
Yeah, a car isn't close to as expensive as a human.
They're super expensive.
Yeah. So, like, the idea, like, I think Nick Cannon having, like, 12, he's just going, like, I'm really wealthy.
Right. Aren't you stressed financially? No.
Not me. I have 12 kids, 12 different baby mamas. I have more money than anything.
Totally fine.
In my mind, he is the richest human being on planet Earth.
He's got to be.
12. I'm like, how much money can Wild 'N Out make you?
And he's never stressed.
Never stressed. Never stressed.
He's always like, oh, let's have a fun improv show.
They're expensive.
These kids
are expensive,
especially when they're with different women.
Oh my god!
Because then you have to. There's a maintenance on the baby mamas as well.
They're looking at how much this woman's getting, and they're all talking.
Yeah, they talk to each other.
Of course.
No, you could. That I don't think I could do.
Right.
The idea of having like, I like building from within.
Yeah.
Like keeping like a big family.
Yep.
But the idea of more than one family.
No.
That seems impossible.
Yeah, it's like on paper it makes sense, but like the idea that like the Mormons and shit, like more than one wife.
Crazy. Great. Can you imagine?
No. Like one wife is so much wife.
Right.
It is like I am at the maximum wife I can do.
I think that's right. Yeah. One.
Yeah. And these Mormons are like, we should do that exact thing.
More.
Again.
Right.
So any free time you have away from your wife, now you fill with another wife.
Right. And I know you've all agreed to this, but like, no, I have an obligation now that I have to spend this much time with the second wife.
Insane.
Because I just, like if you and you have to know in the back of your head all the time, if you're having a good time with one wife.
Oh, no.
You also know.
How dare you do that?
That like, oh, this 3 hours just flew by. Well, guess what? You got 2 more wives that need 3 hours themselves.
They need all that time.
Your day's gone.
They need all that time.
That's 9 hours right there.
That's it.
Time to go back to bed.
You're done.
And then, by the way, when are you hanging out with your kids?
You don't.
No.
Oh, it's brutal.
If you get multiple wives, we each need a date night. What?
Yeah, it's a...
Keeping up with conversations?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you tell me that, or did she tell me that? Yeah.
No,
that's unhealthy.
No,
it's unhealthy.
No, I wouldn't want it at all.
No.
Plus, I also think it's important to have like a home unit. Like you get home, and you don't have to worry. Like you're not worrying about stuff.
Yeah.
This is a person who understands you.
Yeah.
This is a person that you can be vulnerable or whatever in front of.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's like, and that's
Huge.
it. This is a closed unit.
Huge.
Not like, oh no, I forgot. I had told my second wife.
And this one's vying for more time. It's just too much stress.
Too much stress.
We don't want to do more stress.
Plus, you have to tell your problems 3 times each.
I
don't want to talk about my problems.
Yeah, and also they don't want to talk about your problems with the little time they have with you.
Good point.
Yeah.
So you're now listening to all three's problems constantly.
These Mormons are retarded.
I think you might be right.
Like, I cannot believe this is a thing. And then the Muslims that do it too. This is insane.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Do you know, too? I think I saw, like, the Mormons, because not all Mormons do it.
No, none of them do it.
But apparently, like, it's...
They used to do it back in the day because I think all the guys died on the way to Salt Lake City.
Right.
So they're like...
And they wanted to get the Mormonism going. And also, you know...
It wasn't pussy.
That's it.
And also, like...
That's what they wanted.
Men had much lower expectations from women back in the day.
Right.
It was probably really great.
I mean,
at one point.
Yeah, because you didn't have to do anything.
Nothing at all. So
No.
you're like, I can have 3 wives, you know what I mean? But now it just
Not in
doesn't
the
fit in
modern age,
modern
it doesn't
society.
make sense.
Yeah, we didn't think about this.
But they said it came from the Book of God, that you should have multiple wives. And then they realized, like, there's a lot of people not joining Mormonism because this multiple wives thing is like, what?
It's not working out.
And so then they came up with a new book, and they're like, good news. We got another word from God.
No way.
No multiple wives.
I like the upgrades.
Yeah.
This is smart.
Yeah. We need more, hey, God.
What else is happening?
Can you update us?
This is awesome.
If this makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I just loved it. Like, you could do that without disrupting faith.
Oh, beautiful.
There could be just a new word from God.
Yeah, I love the sophistication of the Mormon
It's
religion. It is, their ability to adjust in real time is fantastic.
Are you raising your child with any religion?
Mormon.
Mormon.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart because it's the updating one. Oh, we got a new OS.
No, I don't know. I think my wife would like to raise her Christian, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we'll raise them with anything. I'm not against it. I'll do what my parents did, which is like, if you find one of them interesting, go for it, and we're not going to stop you, but we're also not going to like push it on you.
Yeah, we're not going to church on Sunday.
Yeah. But they were cool. Like, if I wanted to, they never said don't.
Right.
And they never say anything negative about religion.
No.
So, like, you can find it if you choose to.
That's important because I think sometimes parents are like, well, I'm not going to push it on them. And then they go, hey, I'm curious about this. No, don't do it.
It was horrible. I had a horrible experience.
And it's like, well, you can't
you
pull
just-
either.
exactly.
You can't push or pull. You just got to
if
be a
you're
neutral
allowing
party.
them to do it. Yeah.
I feel as though Donald Trump, President Trump,
Yep.
has referenced the weave now. Nonstop. I had never heard this term before the president was on the Flagrant podcast.
Dude, you know what's funny about the weave is, like, I'm glad that he has like a name for it, because it is what makes impressions of him so funny. It's not actually the sound of his voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's the word association.
Mm.
So, like, when he talks, it's like, even if you don't do his voice, you're gonna be like, oh, it's great to be here, Sam. It's great to be here, Sam. Samsung. My favorite TV is Samsung. TVs are amazing. That flat screen, flat, like that woman's ass, so flat. She had some tits, though, huge tits, huge, like Greenland. We're gonna take it, right? So it's not even like how he sounds.
You didn't have to do the voice.
Boom, 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 boom. And as I hear people do the impression, I'm like, with the association, I'm like, of course he's the easiest person to listen to, because when you never know what someone's going to say next, you have to listen.
Right.
When you predict what they can say, it's really boring.
Sure. Or, yeah. Or you have to have the confidence of going, like, he's not just rambling. He's going to get somewhere.
Or not. And it
But
doesn't
maybe
matter.
not.
And it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever it is, it's just funny to hear him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he starts saying it, right?
Yeah.
And I never heard him say it before Flagrant. Are you like, this little podcast of ours
Dude,
may have impacted?
No,
like
I don't think we impact. Like, I get, it's so funny. I've been, my theory is like, none of us impacted the election at all.
None of the podcasters.
No, like,
It was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, it's like the people. There was just like a referendum on the current administration.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that on some, like, I don't have an ego shit.
Right.
Like, I was just like, guys, like, I don't think I'm so important that we could ever do it. And it's funny, like, some people reacted to that as me trying to, like, remove responsibility for the win.
Oh.
It's like, you can't win.
No.
Here, you really cannot win. I don't have, I'm trying to go, I don't have the hubris to think I'm that important. And then you're like, oh, he just doesn't want to be responsible. And it's like,
okay.
all right, fine, I did it.
Yeah.
I fucking did it. Deal with it. You know what I mean? No, my feeling is it just, like, confirmed the things that people maybe already felt and, like, made them feel more confident maybe vocalizing them.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of, like, shifting culture, I really don't think people are listening to a podcast and then they're going, you know what, I'm going to change my views on America entirely.
Yeah.
I don't think
Where'd you
that.
learn that? Flagrant? Flagrant. It was this, it was Flagrant podcast. They were talking about this,
Like, what? Yeah. I don't know. That's just my feeling. And I think there's a lot of people maybe on the left that want to believe that because they're like, it can't be something we did. It's a very convenient way of thinking, right?
Right.
Well, we didn't do anything wrong.
Right. We just don't have good podcasts.
Yeah, it's because we didn't go on the podcast.
Right,
so we were invited to go on, and none of us decided to go on.
Right.
Right. But yeah, it's just like no self-reflection.
Is there? Speaking of reflection, when you guys are sitting there and it's your crew, and you're looking at who was at then a former president of the United States. Insane. It's got to be
insane. You can't even believe it.
Right.
You're like, what world am I living in?
Yeah.
Like it is. Like I mean, we're even insane show.
Yeah. Like, do you sit there going like, this is a simulation. This can't even be a reality that's in front of us right now.
It's just afterwards, I was like looking at everybody. I was like, did that happen just now? Like, did that happen?
Yeah.
Did the president say that Iran tried to kill him on our podcast? Did he break news about a global affair that could start World War III on the Flagrant podcast?
Were we just like renting a room in a weird podcast space like a couple years
Last
ago?
week,
like what?
We said that Mark's grandma was getting Eiffel Towered in a World War II bunker.
Yeah.
And this week, the president started World War III on our podcast.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, there's a real issue. This is, not to like bag on like traditional media or whatever that fucking, where I think we're all exhausted by that conversation, but like, y'all fucked up because we should not be interviewing the president.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
Like, how far did you guys fall?
Yeah,
that he's coming on here. What? Yeah. It's kind of insane.
Right. You gave us this responsibility. We should not have it. This way,
I get to tell the president the shit that's important to me.
Right.
Like I get to say, yo, these are the things that matter to me. What are you going to do about it? To the president?
Yeah. What?
What?
What are you talking about?
Insane,
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I feel like...
Also, how could you not do that? Like, if you have the opportunity to, like, talk to the president...
You have to.
Even, like, let's say you want clout or not or whatever. Like, if you're an American and you have things that you care about and you have the opportunity to tell the person who's going to be in charge...
Right.
...what those things are... You're going to say no. Like, if you have the opportunity to sit on Santa's lap.
Right.
You're going to do it.
You got to.
I don't care if you're Jewish or Muslim. Like, if he's delivering presents and you can sit on his fucking lap.
Right.
This is what I want for Christmas. No more foreign wars. Make sure IVF is available for everybody.
Yeah.
Don't send home all the Mexicans. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have the opportunity to do that, I just can't fathom anybody who cares about the world that they live in that would say no.
There's also this very human sort of individualistic thing for me anyway, where I'd go like, I mean, I just like feel like not that long ago I was just doing college radio, just trying to figure things out. Like what would it be like?
It's a qualifier,
if the president was sitting across from me. Like how is this even? And that's what I also think about, like when you're doing all these podcasts and people are talking to you about the things that you say and the people that you've talked to.
Yeah.
Because for me, I displace, I think, a lot. Where I go, like, this thing just happened that's almost too big for me to even consider.
Yeah.
And there have been a couple moments even this year where I'm like, this, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even really want to talk about it. And I almost feel like having a conversation with somebody on a show where they're like, this happened, you're almost, I would think, I'd be like, it's even weird to be talking about this. I don't think that really happened. I don't think any of this could possibly really be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, you're saying in terms of like interviewing the president or
like something like that.
Yeah.
Like if then you go on another podcast and they go like this show, and I'm going like, what was it like interviewing the president? You're like if I were you, my perspective, I'd probably go, I don't think I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure. I don't think I did.
Yeah.
It seems too weird still.
It is weird, man.
You know?
It is weird. It's also weird, like, going on certain shows, like, where people are very, I think, like, concerned about how their audience might react.
Yeah.
Knowing that I've interviewed the president.
Sure.
And that, like, they feel like it's very important that they bring that up They're almost like protecting their audience's reaction, which I get. They're concerned. Maybe they like me, they know me, and they're concerned the audience might not. And they're just like, so yes, you brought on the president, and how do you feel about that? And I'm like, feel good about it. Yeah. He's the president. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not bringing up Alex Jones, who was on my fucking podcast for some reason, but yeah, the president.
Sure. Yeah. Also had the WWE champion on. We have guests on, and
come on.
That's another big one. Yeah, it was a big one though. That was a big one. Yeah. It's just. But I guess you just keep rolling, right?
Yeah.
You just keep moving and see where this wave. Continues to go.
Yeah, I guess there's a little part of you that hopes that he doesn't, just become a tyrant, because then...
Sure. That'd be bad.
Yeah, then people could really be like, yo, you fucking had him on, and he was charming about the weave, and then he's a tyrant.
But you're like, why?
Well, if he does...
I don't know. I didn't think he was going to do that.
By then, I'm part of his cabinet or something,
that's right.
And I'm just like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. President.
I'm going to jump on that plane and have something at McDonald's. let me get on there.
Yeah.
I really want to ask you.
Ask me anything you want.
Okay, because I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm doing it.
No, ask me anything you want, please. Whatever you want.
At what point, right, do you sit back and you go, this is becoming a big thing? I'll tell you what this is. This is becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was about me. You know what I'm going to do? Let's say I make love to this rapper. Like, at what point in the comedian's mind does it become like... Because it couldn't have been strictly spur of the moment.
No. So that's the thing. Like, nobody understands the timelines. And like I said, everybody just reacts to like 30-second clips. So this is what really happened. The song comes out. And the internet and his fans decide that it's about me.
Right. Because I listened to the Kendrick clip and I'm like...
It could be any fucking...
Right.
guy.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, listen, for 2 weeks, I don't say anything because I'm filming the special.
Right.
So I'm like, if I respond... I'll have to acknowledge it. I know once I respond, it's going to become a fucking thing.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll have to acknowledge it in the taping. And this special is not about Kendrick. This special is not about any real pop culture shit.
It's about you.
Yeah.
It's your work.
Exactly. And I don't even want like the consumption of it when it does come out to deal with whatever the backlash of that could be. Because I understand there's going to be backlash, right?
Right.
So... weeks go by, I don't even really care. But he did say a thing that the next line is, and the N-words that Kuhn and the N-words being groomed slide on both of them. Mm-hmm. Did the internet also seem to think was about Alex, Media, and Charlemagne?
Your friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the term slide is like, assault or murder or something, whatever. And again, it's just a fucking rap lyric. Who gives a fuck? But... they're starting to get people reaching out like, yo, if you come to LA, it's on like that. And I'm like, okay. So you basically told your fucking fans, some of which might be insane, to murder my friends. Mm-hmm. Anything I say after that is free.
Gotcha.
Because you went to murder.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the top.
And I think the way that it was, and maybe I could have done a more delicate way of communicating back, but I think the way it was like, he goes, hey, don't make jokes about black women. I'm like, I'll fuck you. You know what I mean? But it's...
yeah, I mean, it's uncouth.
Yeah, but I don't care. Oh, don't make jokes. It's like, okay, like you're the first person that told me not to make jokes.
Right.
Like, and did I find it hypocritical that he's like doing a movie with the South Park guys, and they've got Lizzo jokes and all this other shit? Like, yes, he's being hypocritical. He was doing something for clicks. He's like jumping on an internet thing. He probably wasn't that familiar with me, and didn't realize that like people know about me or whatever. I think he was just reacting to a video online.
Sure, of course.
And then I did get confirmation it was about me. So before I said anything, I got confirmation.
Gotcha, because you don't want to start. Because by the way, that would be the worst.
It's the most ego thing in the world to make. It must be about me. It's like I didn't react for 2 weeks, and then I got confirmation. Basically, his team reached out to somebody to be like, "Yo, we weren't talking about you guys with that line about the killing shit." So, but it was about Schulz with this thing. Right. So I'm like, okay, you open your mouth. You say this thing about telling your fans to kill my friends. You get whatever's coming to you, and you fucking enjoy it. You know what I mean? You get what's coming to you, and you enjoy it.
Right.
The second you bring murder into it, with my friends, you get what's coming and you enjoy it.
So that's kind of where it's like, tell me where the level is, and I'll meet you there.
Yeah, and then it's so funny, people going like, he didn't even mean that when he said that about them. He's just a rap lyric. And it's like, oh, yeah, and I meant it.
Yeah.
I guess I really meant it. I'm the only one that really meant it.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the thing about, like, you've gotten to the point where the deciphering between this is a real opinion and a real statement of purpose.
Dude, people tried
versus
to
a
make
joke.
it racism so fast, too. That was the most surprising thing. They're like, I said it back, and they're like, this is racism. This comes from, like, a history of, like, slave owners having sex with their slave. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I was like, how did this become racist? He just said he would tell his fans to shoot my friends.
Right.
I'm just saying I'll make love to him.
That's all.
Seems like even a little less than what he said. Right? Like, how is this racist?
I see.
Who brought up slavery?
No, yeah. Yeah.
Like, they brought up this whole thing, this is buck breaking or whatever like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
But at least you got an education.
I'm learning about these things.
Yeah, and you take it in.
Well, he does. No, but like the shitty thing is that I do, like, I think I have a lot of like respect for people who put things out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, creative people put things out, and I think he's a prolific artist. You know what I mean? So when you put something out, when you make a piece of work and you put it out there for people to ridicule it,
Sure.
or celebrate it. But that's a vulnerable thing. And I think right now we live in a kind of reaction economy where it's just like so many people are like just reacting to videos, but they've never really put out something of their own for people to celebrate or ridicule. And even if he says some crazy shit to me or to my friends, I still have a lot of respect for him for just putting out art that can be criticized or celebrated. Like, on a baseline creative level.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I think he's like just a really good rapper. It's like annoying that the thing happened, to be honest.
Yeah.
If that, it was just felt
Because
annoying.
beyond that, he's great.
Yeah, I'm not like, I don't listen to his music personally, but when I hear a song, I'm like, wow, this guy's really good at the thing.
Yeah.
He's really good at the thing.
Right.
I'm sure there's comedians that are like that, where it's just like, I totally get that how good this person is. I just don't go to turn it on when I do it. Tons of musicians like that, but yeah, I think a lot of times people get into these things and they just want to like shit all over the artists for their art. It's like, no, because before that I didn't have any issue.
Right.
So then I'd be faking the issue just because he said something.
Totally. How do you have the conversation with your wife about, like, look, this whole special is going to be about what we went through, but also part of that is video of it. Like, you're now a part of this thing, and that, like you just said, putting your art out there means that it's fair to criticize it.
My wife is like the most private person in the world.
Right.
Private Instagram, doesn't want attention, like, but I think it definitely helped that my sperm sucked. I would have never done it if it was her fault.
That would have been shitty for you to do a whole stand-up special.
It's hard to have a baby when your wife is rotten.
Right. That wouldn't have been cool at all.
But me being fucked up, it was way easier.
Yeah.
And then and I think that, to be honest, like, there's part of her that she felt like really alone in the process, and she didn't want people to feel alone in the process. And despite her being like mortified of any attention at all, she was like, I'll deal with that because I think it could be helpful to people going through it. So it was all altruistic for her.
Wow.
And
yeah,
like
and
really open.
I think that's a good way to be. And I think that it's true. You know what I mean? It's like,
I did it to be funny.
Sure. You're not helping anyone. You're not helping.
Anybody that gets help from it, this is like a bonus. But like, I'm not coming out here going like, that was my goal. I'm going to make people feel seen in this. No, that is the icing on the cake.
Right.
I wanted to do stand-up. This is the only thing I could think about.
Right. There's this helpful thing in here. I got to try to write some jokes around this because I don't really care about this.
I couldn't think of anything else. It was the only, like, you went through it when you're trying to get your wife pregnant and you can't. It's like the only thing that's on your mind.
It's it.
It consumes your relationship, consumes your life. Like, I'm not like political opinions. I have fucking none. I'm like just thinking about trying to make a baby.
And people don't even know, like, that is the type of stress that can destroy relationships.
Yeah, because you can't even talk to other people about it because you're embarrassed. In the beginning, when I thought it was her, I was like, I don't want to share this with anybody because I don't want her to feel embarrassed.
Right.
So then I'm going, okay. And then when I find out it's me, I can start talking to people a little bit.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, look, guys, if you have not seen Life, watch it. It's great. I mean, Schulz, I couldn't be more happy for everything that's going on with you and everything that has been going on with you.
Thank you.
It's also great to see that life has been maintaining in that top. So many of these specials end up disappearing off Netflix. So the fact that it's still up there, still easy to find, still on the top 10, still on the you should watch recommended list.
That was crazy.
It's huge.
To do like 2 weeks
huge
in a row and like to go back up. Like the second week we went to 10, and then as the weekend came around,
yes,
every day we 9, 8, 7, and it was like, oh wow, people are really talking about it. And that's just word of mouth. Like there's only so much press you can do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, do people tell their friends to go watch something?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been fire.
Well, yeah, watch Life if you haven't. It's great. Listen to Flagrant if you haven't. It's great. And Schulz, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, dude.
Well, thank you so much. And just keep in mind, guys, if I'm ever interviewing wrestlers and I look like I know too much, I do. Sam Roberts. This is Sam Roberts delivering juicy information to me, and I'm simply regurgitating it. So all praise goes to Sam.
Well, thank you, man. We'll see you guys later. Thank you, Schulz.
Peace.